Hello, UPL. It is your god, your greatest Pokemon trainer who loses all the time. Rockhands the Caveman here. And I am also with great friend and returning host with Jake.
Hello, guys. Good to be back.
And then we have a special guest with the greatest Pokemon trainer of all time, Theo.
Soon to be three-time champion of the UPL.
We'll see, dude. I don't know about this one. You always say it, but I don't think so. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm excited to do these PRs. Let's go.
So we are doing post-ranking draft teams. We will grade them 1 through 10. We will go by our draft order and stuff like that. If you want to put them in a certain range where the numbers escalate, that would be your actual rankings, but we're just not going to do that. You can do that on yourself. So, with that being said, our first team is the London Lucarios by our new coach, London. And let's have Theo take this off.
Okay, so I think it's one of the greatest drafts in this entire league. I think it's tied for like the best draft in the entire league with another coach that we'll get to later. But this draft has so much going for it. It has a great Firewater Grass core. It's got a great Fairy Dragon Steel core. It's got good offensive presence. It's got good defensive presence. It's got checks to every offensive threat that I can think of. It's got good ways to break through a bunch of the wall. Like Chansey alone is going to be walling every single special attacker and even some physical attackers that just come through the team's way. Togekiss can check a bunch of Mons. Tapu Bulu can check a bunch of Mons. Megalodius is a great offensive check. Keldeo is a great offensive check. Megalodius can break through Mons. Tapu Bulu can break through Mons. It's got like so much versatility. It's got Wish Pass. It's got Rocks. It's got Defog. And the only issue I have with it is its lower point Mons and Spiritomb inside there. They're okay, but they're kind of subpar for how many points we got and how you could choose to spend those points.
Yeah, the team is really good. I love the Bulu Heatran. I've used it before. It's really good. I like where all the power comes. I like where it's so versatile. Where, like you said, Theo, he can do everything. He has everything. People have such a hard time with Chansey. I can't wait to see him play with it. The only thing I don't like about his team is just Scyther. Other than that, I think it's the best draft that we have had in this league. I hate Scyther personally. I don't think it's that good for any reason at all. Or you could find something better for it to fit that reason at a lower price and stuff. So it's gonna be real interesting playing against London since we've never played from him, and he has a great team, and that's always scary.
Yeah, I mean, especially I think it's terrifying because you really don't know what to expect from him as a coach either because we haven't played him. So there's a lot that could happen in games, and just looking at the team, it's terrifying. Like you guys said, I mean, the Bulu Tran is always really scary in draft, and having Megalodios behind that to really show a lot of offensive pressure, it's going to be terrifying. It's going to be tough to play, tough to prep for. This team is as close to perfect as most drafts will ever get. On the only weaknesses being, I think, that maybe lacking a little bit of physical attack. But Theo will probably tell you how that's bullshit because it has side shock.
It's got special attack and a physical side, okay? Megalodios can make side shock.
I still don't agree, but it's okay.
That's always
enough physical attack.
Like, and the other thing I noticed is like it's a little weak on its like hazard removal. So I mean, that happens a lot, especially when you draft this well offensively and defensively. You might be a little lacking on the hazard removal, but overall, it's a wonderful team. It's really.
So, what grade would you give it?
I'd give it
9.5 for me. It's so close to perfect, just lacking like a few flaws. It's a really great.
Yeah, I think it's as close to perfect as possible. Just a little shy. So I'm giving it 9.9. It's as close as like to 10 I could give it. It's just missing a few things that make it below that threshold. But yeah, 9.9.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9.8. So that's pretty high, especially with a Pokemon like I said I hate on there. But it's gonna be real interesting to see how he plays. So
I think the other thing is like, I was talking about how like he kind of doesn't have that much removal. He could have not drafted Scyther and drafted something like Claydol or Kamala to like have another spinner that actually could be a functional spinner.
Yeah.
I like that
And
idea.
have much better other.
I would have even liked one of those, was it a Volbeat and then a Lumius? Was those,
Yeah, Loomies and
yeah.
Volbeat.
Because if
Strength
he
of
picked Scyther to be a fighting resistance, just pick up that. It's the same thing, and you at least get to do prankster stuff to help out better. And they're like less points too. I think they were only 2 points in our league compared to 5.
That would be good too.
Yeah. So moving on, let's go to the number 2 draft pick, which was the Charlotte Grand Bulls, coached by Tyler. And I will start this off because he's my teammate. And I think he got some real good mons that fit his play style with like the Tapu Koko and the Klefki and the Tangrove. And type null, he's a master with type null. So I think that's going to help him. I love what his mons can do, but I don't know if I agree with how Tyler's trying to set this up. He is trying to have a rain team without having a rain setter. And he's planning on doing that with Prankster, was it Rain Dance with the Damp Rock, which I don't agree with. I think it's going to be a lot harder than what he thinks it's going to be using it that way, because you have to waste a turn, you have to waste an item and stuff. It's just not as reliable as just having a rain setter coming in and then boom, it's already up. And I think I don't know how he's gonna do with Togedemaru. I'm not real experienced with that Pokemon, but I don't think it's that good. So I don't know what that pick's about. I do like his walls. I like Cradilly a lot. I think it's really underused. I think it has great ways to raise its defenses even higher. It has great recovery. It gives you rocks and stuff like that. So I like that part, but it's just the team altogether. I don't know how he's actually going to be able to use it. How do you guys feel?
I actually like it, other than the fact that it doesn't have a rain setter, because having a rain setter would mean he wouldn't have to waste a turn setting it up. He wouldn't have to waste a move slot setting it up. He wouldn't have to waste an item setting it up, because if you had a rain setter, you could come in and immediately switch out. You don't have to even waste a turn. When you have rain setter manually, you have to waste a turn, which is huge. You don't want to be killing any momentum on a team that relies so heavily on momentum, right? And again, his Pokemon are going to be forced to run moves that are suboptimal, like Koko, Klefki, Tornadus Incarnate, and Hawlucha. None of them like running Defog because they all like having other moves. But guess what? Those are his only defoggers. So he's going to be forced to run Defog on those mons eventually, or he's going to get bodied by Hazard. Whether it's Stealth Rock is Cradilly and Mega Swampert. If he's not bringing Cradilly every game, which I don't think it is because it's not that great of a mon, he already has Tangrowth as his main bulky grass. If he's not bringing Cradilly with rocks every game, Mega Swampert is going to have to come with rocks, which it doesn't like giving up a move slot for. Like, he's forced his Pokemon into roles that they don't want to be doing, just due to the fact that he didn't actually end up getting a rain setter. Togedemaru is an alright pick because it can Wish Pass, I guess, and it can run that Fear set with Endeavor Spiky Shield at like level 6. And it's alright. It's like you have to prep for it, so like kind of get it and gives you Wish support. But other than that, I don't really know about the fact that he didn't get his rain setter. That's the main hindrance. Like, I think his draft would be 10 times better if he got a rain setter.
Yeah, definitely agree. Especially when you have Tornai right there, where you could replace those Pelipper like 5 extra points, and all of a sudden you have a rain team that functions really well and has the setter on it, so you don't need to waste move slots and item slots on stuff that you feel need to be taking other roles in your team. So I really thought it was a misplay. I think he was trying to game the system gamed him. I think that's what happened. And some of the lower point mons are kind of weird, but I think he's a good coach, he's a good player, he'll be able to work through it. The main things I didn't really like are, I feel like if he ever wants to play a match where Rain has a bad matchup, he's not going to be able to do it. I feel like his team's too Rain reliant to be good outside of it. And I feel like that's a pretty big problem, especially with this team. So we'll have to see how he does that and how he plays around all that stuff that we talked about. But I definitely think he can do it.
Yeah, I just wish he would have like it would have been a big deal to get just Pelipper. Like it would have been only 2 points. I still think Pelipper is still out there. I still think he can drop like one of his mons. I think a Tornadus Eye, and then drop one of his lower mons, and then he'll have some points left over, and you get Pelipper, and it'll just make your team so much better. But
It's five extra points overall because 3 for Kingdra, 2 for Mega Swampert.
Right.
So I feel like he definitely has the points to do that.
yeah, that'd be cool. So
But anyway, my ranking for Tyler was a 7.5 just because of the problems we talked about.
yeah, I would give it a 7.9. That's how I feel about it.
I'll give it a 7. I just don't think not getting a rain setter is so bad. Like I could easily see it getting to a 9 if you just had a Pelipper on it. Like it would be so good otherwise. But yeah, 7 for now.
So then let's move on to our third team, and that is the Pittsburgh Reggie Steelers, coached by Byron. And Byron's got a good draft. How about you tell us about it, Jake?
In my opinion, this is the best draft. Second only to London. Like it's just from top to bottom, it's just filled with threats and walls and all kinds of stuff to make the game impossible to play. Like it's gonna be a nightmare to prep for. I mean, just looking at his first 3 mons he drafted, Celesteela, Rotom Wash, Mega Altaria, like those 3 mons will give everyone problems. And then having a roster full of other problems along with it, it's not gonna be fun. I mean, I know I play on the season, and I'm not looking forward to it at all. Especially with like mons that function so well on both offensively and defensively. Like you're not going to be able to just prep for one set. You're going to have to prep for every single thing, and a lot of people aren't going to be able to do that. Like you're going to have to guess the sets in order to make the game easier on yourself, or else I don't think a lot of people have the chance to win. There's just so many threats and so many mons that make it so his playstyle can outplay you, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for a lot of people.
All right. So this is my boy, Byron. All right. I picked him for a reason. I know how absolutely fantastic he is as a coach. I think he's got an absolutely fantastic draft. Like, if I remove Byron as a coach, if I just took that screenshot and I looked at the team, I'd be like, oh my God, that's one of the greatest teams I've ever seen. That's not possible in any draft league. But then Byron managed to do it somehow. All right. He's a magician playing and drafting, I guess. But he's got such good mons. It could do everything. Good stealth rock, good removal, good support. The only thing it's lacking is Wish, but Celebi can healing Wish something up. That's a major threat. It could be either Mega Altaria, it could be Celesteela. Like everything, his whole top half can be either defensive, offensive, or utility, which is so crazy to think about. Like Celesteela, offensive, defensive, utility. Rotom Wash, offensive, defensive, utility. Mega Altaria, same thing. Nihilego, Stealth Rocks, offensive, Choice Scarf, whatever you want it to be. It could be especially defensive. Arcanine, physically defensive, physically offensive. It gives you priority. Donphan, same thing. Choice Band, Donphan is not a joke, dude. Like, it could do so much. The only issue I have with it is no Wish Pass, and then his lower priced monster kind of subpar. And Passimian, I'm not a big fan of that as the fighting type. But other than that, it's so good. I think it's tied with London as the greatest 2 drafts in this league for now. Yeah,
so I think it is a really good team. I think it's the second best team in the league. Knowing Byron and playing against Byron so much, I just feel like a lot of the Pokemon that he got, I already know how he's gonna kind of play with it. So that I'm putting that into my grade, which I shouldn't, but I am. Now, if he surprises me during the seasons and like brings like what you guys say, all these different sets that he can do, that all these Pokemon can do, then I would probably change my mind. But I just feel like seeing the Pokemon that he actually has in front of him, I know what Byron's going to bring like 90% of the time. So this could be good because he can catch people off guard if he does like what he's like you guys are saying, that bring different sets because you don't know which one they're going to bring and stuff like that. That'd be really good. Another reason I don't like the team is I really don't like the Pokemon Celebi. I think Celebi's not the greatest Pokemon, especially for like 12 points. I think you could have got something else than that. I also don't think Pukimilkru is that great of a mon either. You have to kind of be a little bad to let it to do anything against you. You should have plans for it, and it should be really easy to just totally take out of the game. So you'd be playing like a 6 versus 5. Yeah, that's how it should be. Persimium, I'm okay with stuff like that, but I like the team. Like when you see it, it's a great team. I just don't know how well. Well, Byron's going to be good no matter what because he's good, but I just don't know. I don't know. I grade it high. I'm giving it a 9.5. What do you guys?
Okay,
I think-
I'm gonna give it a 9.9 because like I said, I think it's tied with London for the greatest draft. It's just so close to being perfect that it's just not there, just a little below the threshold. So 9.9.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's ranking it that high. I mean, I'm ranking it close to high, but like slightly lower, I guess. I loved it. I thought it was 9.8. Like this is the closest I've seen to a perfect draft that I thought was possible. So I think it's amazing.
All right. So with that, let's go to our next coach,
Let's hype.
which is the Kansas City Crowbats by our main Duke Hubie. And I will say this. This is what I don't want to see from Hubie. Like last season, he was messing around making memes. This season, he actually got a legit team, and it's pretty good. He was aided in the draft with his teammates actually giving up their first round pick, so he was able to get Karen Black with Mew, which is insane to me. I think all his Pokemon are real big threats because Conqueror just breaks through walls. Mega Beedrill is a pain. It breaks through walls and it can pivot to get out of there. You got Greninja with the same thing where it can pivot, put hazards, use its momentum to get out there. Diancie, I was really surprised how good Diancie is using it last season. So I'm sure he's going to have great games with it. Piloswine, I think, is a sleeper Pokemon. I don't think it gets used enough. It's super good. I love it. It has a Polion. It just has good threats. It has good ways to get hazards up. I do wish it has more than just what it has for tanks with the Piloswine and the Empoleon and kind of the Diancie. I don't like that Mew's going to come more defensive, but you know what? He has a lot of offense.
Yeah, it's not Palestine, it's Palestine.
Palossand, whatever. The ghost ground thing. All right. Yeah. So that, I think, I wish he would have another just dedicated tank. So Mew wouldn't have to be forced to be more of a tanky role thing. And was it legit or what's that grass Pokemon?
Lilligant.
That Pokemon's the worst Pokemon in the world. This is the only reason why I think he's lower on the high tier of people. He's up there. I think he has a really good team, but he's lower because he drafted that Pokemon because that Pokemon is utter trash. It's not good for anything.
Guys, Lilligant is not legit, just so you know.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to actually have to argue with you here. All right, so I think Lilligant forces some form of prep because Quiver Dance Lilligant, at the very least, you're gonna have to prep for it.
But it only knows a grass move and a hidden power.
Yeah, but it's if you don't check it with something at least, you're gonna lose to it. It's not blanket checked by the things that his other members are blanket checked by, right? So you can't have something that checks Thunderous Eye and expect it to check Lilligant as well. It's probably not gonna happen.
But it's gonna be so easy to prep for. I agree with you. He had no one should not prep for any mon on anyone's team because if that happens, then you get blown up. But it's so easy to make a check for.
It's all right. I mean, yeah, I don't disagree that it's not the greatest one, but I think it forces prep at least. I don't think you're giving it enough credit. It's not the worst.
I rather take one of the Pansage, those monkey elementals.
No.
I rather have one of those.
No. Okay, anyway, I guess that's a different opinion. Other than that, we'll go to his big boys, Kieran Black and Mew. I don't know how he managed. Oh, I know how he managed to do that. They basically cheated. But that's
Get him.
And they got it somehow. So he got Kieran Black Mew, which is absolutely insane. Mew just fills every role you need Mon too. He already has a Rocket, but it's like, nah, let's just add Mew. He already has a Defogger, so then let's just add Mew, right? We already have a Heal Beller, but yeah, let's just add Mew. Now we have more, and it could do so many things. Aside from Mew, everything else is actually kind of one-dimensional. Now that I'm looking at it.
I'm hearing some thirst in Tiwa's voice right now.
Anyway, everything else is kind of one-dimensional. Mega Boo's not going to be special. It's going to be speedy, physical attacker all the time. Kieran Black's going to be maybe mixed, but it's not going to be anything crazy other than a mixed attacker or a fully physical attacker or a fully special attacker. Right, Conkeldurr is going to be a breaker that's physical. Greninja could do some other stuff with spikes, talk spikes, but it's not that hard to prep for since it's torrent. Blaziken's going to be a mainly physical attacker, and Top F with speed boost, or we can't even run speed boost, right? So it's going to be at the best. Dancy can be a defensive rock. I guess I could run the Trick Room set, but his mons are mainly one-dimensional, which is okay because he has Mew, which is just going to cover up for it, and they're going to have to prep for every possible time anyway. So
Just in case you guys didn't know, Theo wanted Mew in this draft.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit. But anyway, aside from Mew, I think it's really good just because it forces prep on every single aspect. And the only thing, again, like Rocky said, it's kind of lacking some things, and its low point mons aren't the best. But other than that, it's pretty good.
Yeah, so this is my teammate here, my boy. We gave him 2 top 10 picks because I thought, why not? Let's get some love over here. He had a rough season with those Beast Boys. But we're taking that name on. We're gonna do good this season. We're the Beastie Boost Boys. But yeah, like they were saying, a lot of one-dimensional mons, and like not so many walls. But I feel like with Hubie, that's his style of play. He likes really just he's not gonna dazzle you with his prep or anything like that. He's gonna bring not necessarily box standard sets, but pretty close. And he really shines in how he plays. So I know that maybe some people are going to look at this draft and not be too impressed, but I really like Hubie playing this kind of way. I think it's going to be a lot of wins for him and hopefully my team. So I see him doing really well with it. Now, I'm not going to rank it high as some of the other teams we've seen just because it's not as good, but I still would give it like an 8.7, I was thinking.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I think I about agree. I think we're going to give it an 8.5. It's like pretty solid, just lacking a few things, but 8.5 seems solid.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm exactly at an 8.5 as well. I don't think I like it. I'm a little envious of it, but yeah, it could be better. So then let's move on to our 5th draft pick in the draft, and that was by the Lucarios? What is it?
The Vero Beach Lucario.
Oh yeah,
Vero Beach
by Bryce.
Bryce.
And Bryce, this is like, I like Bryce. I really wish I could have got him on my team, but I like his team, except for, and this is gonna be weird, I think he has too many tanks. Like I think like having Umbreon and Vaporeon on is like redundant at that point, and then you also have like Uxie as a tank and Golbat. Like I don't think you need that many, and I think that's limiting what he can have on the rest of the team by doing that. Not a big fan of the Rotom, just regular Rotom. I only think 2 Rotoms are good. 2.5 Rotoms are good. Zedstripa, everyone considers one of the worst Pokemon of all time. I disagree. I like Zedstripa.
Nope.
Zypa. I think is good if you know how to use it.
If you can't even say the name, it's a bad mod.
I think if you could use it right, I think it's good for how low it is because it's a 3-point mod. What I do really like about the team, I like Zygarde 50%. It's really great just to be able to click 1,000 arrows, and then also have your opponent always be scared of you setting up behind a sub or something like that. It's always really rough to deal with. I really like Mega Scizor from last year that I used it. It's really easy to sweep people if they're not prepped for it. Getting Veil up would be cool with the low and Ninetales. And I love Terrakion. I think Terrakion's one of my favorite like wall breakers. And I think he'll have fun doing it. And I think with having Rosawade, being able to get multiple spikes, kind of be a tank or come offense is really great.
Okay, so I actually disagree. Like none of his walls are as passive as you make it seem out to be. I think the only really passive one is Uxie, and even Uxie can U-turn out of there, or Memento, or like Toxic, something, right? Uxie got good speed for a while. That gets up rocks, and then you turn out right away and get in your big offensive threat. Umbreon can foul play if it's trying to set up, and it can wish pass into its offensive threat so that it doesn't take damage on switching. It's like not as passive as many other walls. Golbat has the ability to haze. Mega Scizor can be a wall, but it's also going to be very offensively threatening. So I think it's okay. Vaporeon has a great special attack, so it's going to be able to break through subs. Things aren't going to be able to set up subs on it unless they resist Scald. And even if they do resist Scald, they're also going to have a good amount of bulk to resist the Ice Beam, because Vaporeon has really good special attack for a while. They're not that passive is what I'm trying to say, right? I've said it like 10 times, so I'm going to emphasize this again. Other than that, he's got good options for rocks. I think he's Uxie and Terrakion. They're not like... Terrakion doesn't really love running rocks, but it can fit it on there because usually dual stab and then one other move is good enough. So Earthquake plus dual stab is good. Dual stab plus X's or whatever, right? Sword Stance, dual stab rocks. So it's okay with running rocks. It's got great defog options. I love it. Mega Scizor, Golbat, and Rotom. I think Rotom was there to like pick up the slack for the defog, because other than that, he would only have 2. I think Rotom's okay. I really hate Substrike, so I'm not going to talk about that. That brings it down a lot. Other than that, it's like really good. That's it.
Substriker is amazing.
Yeah, I think it's hard for me. This is the kind of team I would hate using, so I have a hard time ranking it. But I mean, if you have Zygarde 50%, Terrakion, and Mega Scizor behind Veil, I don't want to play you. That's just how it is. So I definitely think that overall it's a decent team, but I really wish he would have grabbed a really good special attacker, because right now his 3 main offensive threats are really physical, and he's got Heal Belly, so I think he'll be fine. He doesn't have to worry about Wisp too much, but I think he's gonna have to watch out for a physical wall really slowing down his team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the main problem for me. But I think overall Bryce is pretty good drafting. I'm gonna have to see how he plays it. It's just a weird style for me to see, because I don't necessarily see like the kind of walls I want to use, but I don't necessarily see like an offensive team either. So it just depends how we use it, I guess. I'm interested to see how it goes. I don't really know how to rank this team, so I'm gonna let you guys go first.
Right. I think it's really close to like it's really balanced is what I'd say. I don't think it's that like amazing, but it's definitely not bad. It can do its role as well. So I think I'm gonna give it a like solid 7.2. It's just right there, as it could probably do really good or it could probably do really bad, and it's gonna be leaning more towards the good side. So 7.2.
So I would give it. I'm higher up. I'm higher than you. I'm at the high 7s. I'm probably around like a 7.8, 7.9. I do like the team. Like, unlike what Jake says, I would actually have fun and play this team really well, which I think says good things about him, because he's kind of adopting my more play style, and I try to help him out as much as possible. So I think he's going to do pretty well with this team.
Well, he's also got Killer, so I feel like Killer will help him out a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of where I was thinking. I was thinking about like a 7.5, just because like it's like Theo said exactly. Like, I don't think it's the greatest team here, but it's not. I don't think it's the worst team that got drafted either. So that's 7.5 is perfect.
So let's move on to the next draft pick, and it was the Rosemary Rotoms from our coach Ninetales.
Yeah, he's gonna have 0 for me, boys. Got a 0.
How about you start us off, Theo?
Yeah. Me. Okay. All right. I'll start off. I think he's got a actually really crazy powerful draft. Like, it's so good. I love it, dude. It's got the Wish Pass into Snorlax. That means it's never gonna die. It's got Lando T, which means it's never gonna die. It's got Hydreigon, which is gonna blow through everything. It's got Mega Manectric, which is gonna pivot into the things that's gonna blow through everything. It's got Cortana that's gonna blow through everything. It's got Azel that's gonna blow through everything. Oh, it's like really, really well balanced. It's got triple Intimidate, I think. So physical attackers aren't going to be a big problem. It's not like blanket checks basically every special attacker that's not a fighting type. And he's got Sylveon to cover the fighting type weakness. So it's like really, really solid overall. It's got good breaking power. The only thing I think it is lacking is rockers. I think his only stealth rocker right now is Lando T. which is as its Z move, is probably gonna want to run. Oh, it's got Azelf as well, but again, an offensive
Azelf
mon that
rocks.
like it's gonna. They're both offensive mons that are Z mons. They're just gonna want to run more offensive sets, and giving up a turn to click rocks isn't that great. I guess Lando T can get away with it because it's kind of like Terrakion, where it doesn't really need anything other than Earthquake and U-turn, and maybe Stone Edge. But then, yeah, it's okay with running it, but only having Lando T as its rock option aside from Azelf is kind of not that great.
What do you think, Jake?
I'm gonna have to agree a lot with that. I think Lando T is gonna be pressured a lot into a role where you have to either run rocks, defog, or both. And I think, especially with this team, I don't think that's something it's gonna want to be doing a whole lot of. But besides that, I think it's okay. You can always like bring emergency defog on Hydreigon or something like that, and you got him on top to spin away. So I think that'll be okay. What I'm more worried about is having to deal with this offensive core he's got here. He's got really good special attackers, really good physical attackers, and I mean he's got a bunch of good Scarfers too. So like even like with my team where it's really fast, he's gonna have trouble dealing with this team. So yeah, it's offensively it's really scary. Defensively, I think it could use a little work, but I think it'll be fine overall. I think at times this season he's gonna have problems with finding a good switch in. And I think he'll struggle with that, but Ninetales is a pretty decent coach overall, so I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not as high as you guys are because like I think he has really good mons on the team. I really do. But I feel like as I'm going down the list in our draft league, I feel it's really like easy to prep for these mons. Like I see the team, I see that mon, I kind of know what he's gonna bring, and not having that creativity in a draft league is kind of bad because you want to be able not to bring the same sets all the time and be able to bring something.
I'm the least creative coach ever. And
I don't know about you, but when I see Azelf and I see Lando T and I see Hydreigon, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I know exactly what they're gonna do. I'm really afraid of those three on anything because they're gonna do so much stuff.
So, and I'm the opposite. Like most of the time, I know what they're gonna do, except for like the Hydreigon when I played against you with Hydreigon. No one ever brings those sets, so I'm not worried about it. Ninetales, I know what he's gonna bring, okay? Because he's a basic bitch.
Basic bitch.
But I do think he has a good team. It has a lot of like power, and it's gonna pressure a lot of people and stuff like that. He will win because Ninetales a good battler, and he has good mods. I just feel like it's going to be easier to prep for than what most people are going to think. Other than when they see the calcs, be like, oh my god, this thing hits so hard. Other than that part, but actually knowing what to do, I think it's going to be on the easy side.
I'm interested to see what teams who are like have mainly physical attackers do against him. Because 3 Intimidators is a lot of Intimidate to have to deal with.
Really.
Yeah. The worst part about it,
I think Bryce would struggle a lot against this team.
The worst part about it is Manectric and Lando with the pivoting moves. That's the worst part about it. Like
That's
it hurts.
scary too.
Yeah, it sucks so much dealing with that. But if I had to grade this team, I would give him probably about 8.2.
I'm about the same wavelength as you. I was gonna give it an 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly where Theo was at. I was thinking 8.5. I think there's a lot of really good things to it. I think it lacks a little variety at times, like you guys were saying, but I mean, it's a good team. I think Ninetales will use it more.
Mm-hmm. So let's move on to our next coach, and that is Mandy, the coach of the Gainesville Goodras. And Mandy, our great emperor, no, not emperor, what is the word? Dictator of our league. Okay. Gets mad because I changed my team page to make it look better, but whatever. But you know how she drafts really well all the time. How do you feel about it, Jake?
We were actually discussing this earlier. I'm pretty sure she drafted every single type without any duplicates, which I thought was hilarious. You guys want to comment on that for a second?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. That's how balanced she is.
What I will say, though. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jake. My bad.
I don't know what's his phobia of more than one of a type, but I think it's funny, and I'm interested to see how that goes for her.
Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say the exact same thing. I think it's more of a handicap than an advantage to try and draft things that don't repeat type things because they're not all gonna fill the same role. You can have duplicate type things; they're gonna fill different roles. But I mean, she's rocked it, dude. She doesn't have multiple weak. She covers every weakness perfectly due to the fact that she doesn't have duplicate typings, and she fills most of her roles well enough. I think the only issue I have with it is her. Actually, I don't even have an issue with it. I was going to say her only 2 rockers are Gliscor and Megadancy, but I guess Como can get rocks as well, so that's 3 rocks options. It's really, really well balanced. It could do so much. It doesn't have a heal beller that I'm seeing off the bat other than Megadancy, which doesn't really like to run heal bell, but I guess, right? It's got Alamomola to wish us. I think it's really, really well balanced.
Too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if I was gonna say the word balanced, I would put a picture of this team there because that's what I'm seeing right now. This is the most balanced team I've seen. There's so many physical, special walls too. It's just completely balanced, and I don't know how else to put it. It covers everything you ever want in a draft, and I think that'll be great for her.
Yeah.
My favorite thing right now is just the amount of pivoting she can do. I mean, there's so much pivot in this team. It's gonna be fun for her.
Yeah. I really like the team. I think it's great because you have ways to have immediate threats like Victini out there. You have good priority. You have good tanks. You have good ways to get rid of hazards. I feel. I also like having a fast taunter, which she has in a low in Persian. And it has great pivot moves and stuff like that. I'm still not the biggest fan of Cryogonal, but everyone in our league's been using it pretty well, so that's good. It's like what you guys say. It's solid. It has everything that you need, but I think this kind of goes along with Ninetales too. I think seeing it's kind of easy to prep for because you know how Mandy plays and what she's gonna bring and. These Pokemon are stuck in a role. You know what role it has to do because she's trying to be balanced all over,
Yeah, I think the only issue with her is that she doesn't try new things due to the fact that she gets comfortable with what she's good at. But then when you get too comfortable with what you're good at, you end up not being good at it due to the fact that your opponent adapts and plays better and gets the gameplay advantage.
Well, from a completely impartial standpoint, because we're testing the draft right now at the coaches, I would say it's a good draft, not a great draft, and that's the difference for me right now.
So, what would you grade it?
I'd give it an 8. I think it's a very good draft, but not over the top great to push it in those upper 8s, 9s area.
I would put it at I think I put it an 8, solid, flat 8. Because it's pretty good. I think it's going to be good 80% of the time. So I'm going to put it at 8.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit higher than you guys. I think it's a little bit better. I think it's about 8.5. I would love to play with this team, and I think this team will do well. So, coming up next is the greatest coach of all time, Rock Hands.
Oh, yeah, I thought Steve's going up next.
Oh.
A few things.
Okay, all right. The lesser version of Theo, and it's my team, the Rocky Mountain Lycanrocs. Who wants to tell me how glorious I am?
It's goddamn awful.
I'll tell you how bad it is. I think you got sniped one too many times, my friend.
I think you got sniped 52 times.
Yeah.
Within the first 3 rounds. That was the hard part.
I went back and looked at the times you said you got sniped and the monster you got sniped. I think your original ideal draft plan would have been one of the greatest drafts ever. But you had to adapt so much.
That's probably why it didn't happen because you can't snipe to get all that good
Well,
stuff.
okay, so how I like to draft, I like to make a draft plan. I actually made 2 just in case because I knew it might be hard to get a couple of Pokemon. So I made 2 just in case, and it was just one snipe after another. And it was so I was trying to make stuff on the fly, which you'll find out as you're looking through the team, what the fuck was he thinking? Like that.
Right.
But another thing, I also gave my teammate my first round draft pick, just trying to help him out as much as possible. And looking back, I probably shouldn't have done that because it hurt because those snipes came and
Yep.
it hurt me right in the heart.
Right. So, as I was saying, I think it's pretty good for how much you got sniped and how much you had to adapt. Like you got good breakers. It's missing some breakers on the special side, but I guess with Pre-Marina and Alakazam now, it's patched it up quite well. It's all right, I guess. I guess you know what? That's exactly what I'm gonna rate it as. All right. It's all right. It's not good. It's not great. It's not bad. It's good. Just
Mediocre,
on the flat
yay!
good.
I think
No,
you're
better than
enough.
mediocre.
You're
It's
all
not,
right.
not as good as super better than mediocre. You're just better than mediocre.
I think there's enough threats here and like walls here for you to play well, so I think you'll be fine. My main issue is I just feel like you can just tell going through the list that your draft plan had to change so much throughout the draft. Like I feel like there are a lot of mons here that don't make sense together. Like for example, before you made a change, you had 4 psychic types.
I still have 4
have
types.
four.
I ain't changing that. I'm not Mandy. Give me all the same types. Let's do Monolith.
I think there's a lot of weird stuff that got put together, but I mean, you're a good enough coach with 12 months to be able to pull out a bunch of wins.
Yeah, my theory and the thing is how I felt about my team. Like, I didn't even notice I was getting 4 psychic types at the time. I was just getting Pokemons that fit roles because all those psychic types do different roles. Like the Hoopa's a wall breaker,
Absolutely.
Bronzon's a good rocker tank, Xatu was a good defogger and good magic bounce user, which
Right.
I want to have because I have Charizard X, so I want to like try to negate rocks as much as possible. And then I wanted the Alakazam so I can have the speed, the special attack power, and Magic Guard's Focus Sash saves your ass so many times.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then
Like
how I was trying to do my walls, I was trying to go a little bit lower in the points than normal. Mostly it was forced because apparently this was the season to grab every single kind of Wish Pasher and Hillbeller and Cleric and Tank in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, all in like the same round to happen.
So I ended up getting something a little bit lower like Aldino, which I think is a great value at 3 points, but it is passive. Take Cockragrigus, which I think is one of the best defensive wall, but the lack of the recovery hurts it and stuff. I just dropped a Pokemon to pick up Gastrodon to give me another tank. It's really weird to play with it because I don't like 4-time weakness tanks. I think it really hinders it and stuff like that. But I definitely feel like I have a lot of good wall breakers. I have a decent enough speed. I just don't know how I'm going to be able to use it all. That's going to be the fun part of it.
Yeah, I think it was definitely out there with how well it's going to synergize, but I think if from week to week it'll depend. But I think you'll be able to find a lot of good matchups with how many different good mons you.
Mm-hmm. So grades.
okay, so I think I'll give it a 7 because, like I said, it's just better than good, just barely better than good, or like it's all right. Like I said, it's all right. So 7 it is. There
I
you
know
go.
it is the greatest team ever. Thank you, Theo. Jake,
Yeah, I will give it a 7.7. I'm a little higher on it than Theo is, just because like I know how good these mons can be individually. Synergize well. They won't necessarily synergize well, but if you play well enough with them, you'll win games. So I think that's why a 7.7 is deserved.
Yeah.
At least.
so I'm a little lower than you guys because I ranked myself at a 10 overall. I'm fucking awesome, bitches. What are you talking about?
Well done.
I can hit you from so many different sides. You don't know what Pokemon's going to be special or physical. You're going to have a hard time. I have some walls. I have some good priority. Greatest team ever. You watch. I'm coming for your ass,
If you
Theo.
bring special, okay. If you bring special Breloom and physical Alakazam, I will take back everything I said.
Don't
Yeah,
tell
I
him
will
about the
take that.
physical
I will take
Alakazam.
I'll take back all the wins I thought you'd get.
All right, gotta get it at work. So let's move on to the next coach, and it's another analyst that we have right here. It is Theo, the best. I bow to you.
No, but I think I'm not really.
Nah, I'm not
Go for
worthy.
another-
Hold on. Let me just preface this by saying I'm going to abstain from ranking myself because I actually don't know how well I did. I want to get an unbiased opinion
What
before I say
a
anything.
bitch.
Wow, you can at least take the route I took and complain you're
Okay,
great.
fine. All right, fine. I'll give myself a ranking after I hear your guys. I want to hear like a unbiased opinion after, before I give myself a.
All right. Start it off, Jake.
Oh god. Well, okay. I feel like I'm not qualified to rank Theo's team just because I don't have the foresight that he does to see how these mods will function together. I look at this team and be like, this team is so goddamn fucking slow. Oh my god, it's fucking slow. It has Mega Ampharos. It's a bad mod on a bad team, and like other bullshit. Why is Articuno 2 points? This is bullshit. That should have been like 6. There's so many walls and they all can heal. Oh man, you have to deal with Clefable, the worst mod ever. No, but I mean the thing is, he does this. He makes a really bulky team that like borders on being a stall team, and then just destroys you with it. And he plays like this just because he can get a read for how you're playing and what switches you're making and what kind of mons you brought, and then he just makes moves around all that to like just crush you. And this team allows him to do that because you're not able to kill these mons in one go. You're gonna have to get set up. You're gonna have to make the correct plays, guessing on 50-50s. The team is just, it's bulky and it can hit you from every direction. So with giving this kind of team to someone like Theo who's so great at playing, it's terrifying. And if I know you're not supposed to rank it based on the coach, but I literally couldn't rank this team the same if it was someone else that drafted it. So I think it's a really good team for him. I think he'll enjoy it, even though he got sniped to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like the same on that, Jake, because as I look at it, like honestly, if someone else had this team, I'd be like, overall, I can see what it could do, but I don't think it's that great of a team. I think there's a lot of bad Pokemon on there and stuff. But knowing how Theo plays, I can see how every Pokemon is going to be a nightmare to deal with. And I'm going to hate the shit out of that fucking Crobat, that Uniclus, that Clefable on his team, even Drapion. I could just imagine him with Slowbro. I haven't even seen him play with Slowbro. So I can see it's going to do really well with him. I really like Ditto just because it forces people to prep a different way. So you don't even have to bring it in. It still has an effect on the game. But even if you notice that people start trying to set up on you to try to deal with your walls and stuff, you can't do that now with a Ditto right there. I think the speed is fine in my eyes because with the Sandrush Excadrill just going to like kill people. He's just going to fly through people real easy. I think Crobat's fast enough. I think it's one of the fastest Pokemons. And Scarf Ditto, that's all the speed you need right there. I also think that I'm interested to see how the Mega Ampharos does on like more of a sand team. I think it could be really good. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I also see how every single Pokemon that he has can do something different than what you can think of. So that's going to suck playing against that. So
Okay,
Theo, how do you feel about your team?
Right. So obviously, I can't say the quality of my draft because I drafted it, so I'm gonna like naturally think it's good. But I will say the way I play should complement the way I drafted because I like to analyze what the opponent does. And with this many mons that get regenerated or can like be bulky pivots like Registeel that just doesn't die, Slowbro that doesn't die, or Uniclus that doesn't die, Clefable that doesn't die, it gives me a lot of opportunities to understand how my opponent's going to play, how they're going to click their moves, when they're going to switch, what they're going to do, and then I can threaten them based on how they play by getting in my main threat being Excadrill or Mega Ampharos and threatening their mons and like eventually chipping them down or sweeping them with Excadrill. So I think I drafted it in a way that complements how I play to where I can analyze things and then I can do well after I've analyzed them.
Man, I remember when I used to do that shit. God damn it.
And then
suck now. Go on.
Ditto just because I got Ditto just because that lets me analyze them even more. I could just figure out their entire moveset. Because I think Ditto is a great tool that people like overlook. They think, oh, okay, great, it's a good check to setup. No, it's just a great mon in general, right? It could give you so much information on every single mon in your opponent's team. Like you could use it as a sack as long as you know it's going to live one hit and you could see the opponent's moves. And if they set up, that's even just better for you. It deters setup in the first place. Not like I don't have Clefable, which is a great setup deterrent, and the things that do set up and beat Clefable don't actually beat Ditto most of the time, unless they're also running sub, either they don't have enough moves. So I think the way I drafted should complement how I play. So that's it for me.
This guy
Yeah.
sucks.
I mean, definitely being in the same league as Theo for a whole season now, you definitely see how good he is and how well he plays, and his play style complements this draft. I still don't think it's as good as other drafts I've seen him do. I think last season his draft was amazing, and this season's not quite as good, but I'd still say it's pretty good for how he plays, so I give it like an 8.5.
Yeah, I have it rated pretty high too. I'm like around a 8.7, so it's definitely going to win that many more games. Probably going to win 100% of the games, but yeah.
I mean, just to play
So-
Kid Icarus, is he going to get hacked out?
Yeah, so I'll just give myself the average or the mean of those two scores and give myself an 8.6.
Oh,
Like I
wow,
said,
you're so
if I were to-
conceited. Jesus.
No, if I were to
God, you rank yourself so high, you asshole.
God.
no. If I, okay, all right, fine, whatever. 10 out of 10. There you go. Happy.
Woo!
Ironically enough, 3 coaches in a row are the 3 that are analyzing this draft. So I am
That's
up.
pretty funny.
Yep.
Anaheim Arcanines.
By your boy Jake.
So I'll let you boys sit here and tell me why my team is bad.
All right, I'll go first. First of all, let's bring up the fact that we picked right next to each other, and on the second round, you guys sniped me back to back. I really wanted Extra Drill. I really wanted Mandibuzz. Screw both you guys. And legit,
Big oof.
legit, I wanted Mandibuzz Toxapex Core. I wanted to play with that so bad. And I was all like, I'll get those two, and then I'll just cover up its weakness with some kind of electric immunity, stuff like that. And guess what Jake did? He goes get Zoroark and Mamoswine, two of the
Dude,
scariest
that's crazy.
Pokemon. So you really have to think, do I really want to click an electric move right now? Because you don't want that to set up. He was also able to get one of the scariest Mega Pokemons way late, I feel, in the draft. He got Superior, which I think is good on multiple fronts on the whole contrary thing, but I also like the Leech Seats Glare one. I really think that one's good. And it's a Mon that creates so much pressure, he can use it as a defogger. He also got Latios. Licky Licky's a great tank. Looking back at it, I think I had a chance at Aldino or Licky Licky, and I passed up on Licky Licky. I think I did it for points, but looking back, I wish I would have got Licky Licky instead of Aldino. Mons like Grand Bull, it's a niche thing. It's just to have the fairy. It's nice to have Intimidate and stuff like that. I think it's going to be real hard to play with his 2 walls, but I don't think his team's unbeatable. I think you can figure it out real fast. Your only Wish Passer is Licky Licky, so once you get that Pokemon done, I think it'll make the game a lot easier to break things down and stuff like that. But overall, I think it's powerful. I think it's good. What do you think, Theo? Theo.
You know, I think I agree with you a lot. I think it's one of those teams that I also scream balance when I look at it, right?
Mhm.
It's got great walls. They're not super passive. They can be bulky pivots if you want them to. Toxapex doesn't care about damage because of Regenerator. Mandibuzz can U-turn out or foul play and just do so much. You can defog and then switch out because it doesn't care about damage because it's so bulky. And then bring in his big threats. Oh my god, Mamoswine, one of the greatest mons ever. If I don't have Avalugg, I'm always scared to go against it. Zeraora, again, super scared to go against that always. Mega Lopunny, of course. One of the greatest megas in Draft League. It's considered that for a reason. Serperior, if you don't have something to stop its setup or check it immediately, it's going to really destroy your team. Latios is always terrible to prep for because you know how much specs Draco Meteors do to you, and then you're like, okay, well, they just lose if he brings it, and then you prep for it, and then you lose because it's going to bring the calm mindset. It's really scary to prep for a lot of mons on this team. The only issue I have with it is Toxapex being your main form of wall lets in a lot of things that can sub. Now Toxapex isn't afraid of sub plus setup, but it's afraid of things that you're going to sub on it and then just deal damage, because Toxapex isn't breaking any subs like anytime soon. So if it has a mon that can just get a free sub and then deal immediate damage rather than needing to set up, then Toxapex is kind of bad for the team, because you don't have great switch-ins to things that are going to break through your team. Like, if I were to give an example, let's say Mega Swampert, right? If Mega Swampert ever came in on your Toxapex, Mandibus is the closest thing you're going to get to a check, or as a switch-in, and that doesn't like taking switch-in into rocks. So other than that, I think it's really good.
Yeah. Jake?
I was just thinking about all the holes you guys pointed out and how I'm gonna lose because of that.
Whatever.
I definitely agree. I got sniped so badly when I was trying to do walls. I originally wanted to get Sylveon too on this, so it'd be Toxapex, Mandibus, Sylveon, Licky, and I didn't really get that option, obviously because I was sniped. But yeah, I did the best I can to fill up the walls. I started like once I got Mandibus, I felt like I was just running out of time to grab good mons to like break people. So I kind of panicked mid-draft and started drafting stuff that's just like high points, high damage kind of stuff. But I think it worked out overall. I think this is definitely the kind of team I played for. If you look at the draft page, you'll see I also drafted Rocky for 0 points. So I'll throw him out there sometimes and see if it will do anything good for me. But
It's going to be like the Safari Zone. It's going to say Jake threw a rock.
it did 0 damage and it lost 6 games in a row.
Super ineffective.
But I mean, this is definitely the kind of team I like to play. I also hate playing with Toxapex, so we'll have to change that a little bit.
Yeah.
I have to start liking it.
Hey, Toxapex was amazing in season 1 of the UPL. Hasn't been really done anything since.
I think people who know how to use Toxapex really, really play well with it, because they use it as bulky pivots rather than things that are going to sit there. Because when you use a mon that's just going to sit there, people are going to take notice and they're going to take advantage of it. People who know how to use Toxapex use it as bulky pivots rather than wall. And if you manage to do that somehow, and you can get the plays right against your opponent, you're going to win all the time. Because they're going to think, oh, okay, Toxapex isn't, let me get my free thing in. And then the free thing's going to get bopped by your Mamoswine, bopped by your Superior, bopped by your Zeraora, bopped by your Megalopony, bopped by your Latios. So you got like so many offensive threats. But if you were to use Toxapex as a bulky pivot rather than just a wall that's going to sit there and try to toxic things down and wear it down, you're going to do really well.
What did you give Latios your Z-Stone?
Yes, sir.
I hate you. All right. So with that being said, I am going to grade this at a solid like 8.2. That's where I feel the team's at. I think it would be higher, but I don't think you have enough like stealth rocks and stuff like that. But I like the threats and I like your core of tanks.
Okay. So here's the thing. I'm going to rate it an 8, but I'm also going to rate it at a 9, depending on how you play your Toxapex. Because the Toxapex is going to make or break the team, depending on how you play it. So it's either going to be an 8 or it's going to be a 9. And it's going to depend on how you play Toxapex. But right now, since you said you're not good with playing Toxapex, I'm going to rate it an 8.
Yeah, that's where I had it. I ranked myself in the 8 also.
Yeah. Well, Toxapex is one of those funny mons because, like, legit, season 1, I had it. It was, like, top 5 in kills in the league I had with it. And it, like, never died. I think it died once that whole season for me. But then I picked it up season 2 and didn't bring it the first 4 games. And I was like, I'm never going to bring this thing because it's so easy to prep for and to like set up and stuff. And I can't have that. So it's really funny how you have that range with that mod. So if you can pull it off, you're going to be good.
Like once people start adapting, it's going to get really bad. But if you don't let them adapt, then you're going to be really good.
Yeah. Bring that merciless thing. All right, let's move on to our next coach, and that is the Manchester Beedrills.
Wait. We didn't let Jake rank himself.
He said 8.
I said 8.
Yeah, he said 8.
Oh, okay.
All right, so no further ado, we have the Manchester Beedrills with Dark, our great friend from across the pond. And, I love Dark. Him and me are, I think, really close in how we think about like doing stuff in Pokemon battles and stuff like that. And I've never played with Volcarona, and he said I'm gonna pick a team that just says Volcarona. I'm gonna keep you alive and try to sweep everything with you. Picking up Mega Sableye was really good for that because you want to deter people from getting rocks on. I was really upset because I already had 2 Mega sniped, and that was my 3rd one. So there's 1 snipe. Getting Volcarona to do damage. I thought Skarmory was really good too. Keep rocks off. Try to help with because Skarmory can pretty much take any kind of rock move that people want to hit Volcarona with. Also, I wanted that Pokemon to pair up with Charizard and Hoopa U, so he sniped me again. Screw you, Dark. Then he did good things too with supporting it with like webs. So if he wanted to make sure he outspeed everything and just start attacking after just 1 quicker dance, stuff like that. He also got Tentacruel to get rid of the thing, Espeon for another magic bouncer. I like the Cobalion. I think Cobalion is a really good Pokemon to pivot to do immediate damage if it's a Z move and stuff like that. He ended off his draft with Xurkitree, which just force you to have to prep for that Hypnosis one, which I hate so much because it's so annoying. But I think it's going to be a good team for Dark and how he plays it. Oh, wait, he has Meltank? Oh, I thought Theo had Meltank. I'm so happy right now. Yay, Yay, thank God. But overall, I think it's a little bit above average, and I really like it. I think he's going to do well with it. How do you feel, Theo?
I think I agree 100%. He drafted Volcarona. He said, okay, well, now Volcarona's weak to rocks. How do I make it not weak to rocks? He got double Magic Bounce, and he got the greatest defogger in all of history in Skarmory, and he got a really great Rapid Spinner and Tentacruel. Now it's not weak to rocks anymore because you're never getting them up.
Or if they're up, they're going to be there for like a millisecond. They're not gonna
exactly.
stay.
Yeah.
And then he's got good. One thing I was really afraid of was he's gonna get set up on when he has Mega Sableye and he has Skarmory. Like they're both good against physical attackers because Mega Sableye can foul play and Skarmory doesn't take damage from physical attackers. But things that are gonna calm Mind up and immediately threaten them are kind of annoying. But Quagsire is there and can unaware things, and then he's got like great priority in E-Speed Zygarde, and then Cobalion is a great Scarfer to check things. Espeon's a great Scarfer to check things because the speed tiers are so well rounded. I think his fastest is 110, but with Scarf, I think he's got really well rounded mons, or maybe Zygarde's 115. That's even better, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So,
Oh, he got
so good.
Unburdened Slurpup too.
Yeah, that's true. Focus session Burden's coming through as the check to everything, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's really solid overall. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is the kind of team that I would not draft. I love Volcarona, though, and I'm excited for him to use it and it be like his main mon he builds around. So, I mean, I love Volcarona. I don't think it gets enough love in Draft League ever. But yeah, I just it's really bulky. I think he is going to have problems at points this season getting set up on, and how he deals with that is gonna be the most important thing he does on it for his team. Because Quagsire's not always gonna be able to check everything, especially if it has like HP Grass or something, or Grass Knot, or any grass move really. But
that's why you got Meltank. Sap Sipper.
True. There's obvious problems on this team that he's gonna have to play around. But overall, I think his team's really good. I really don't want to deal with Mega Sableye Skarmory. I just don't want to think it exists. It sounds disgusting. It's going to be.
Yeah, it's gonna be really annoying. It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck. So I would rate this team around a 7.9. That's how I have it.
Okay. I think I was going to rate it just a little higher, like barely higher at 8. I think it's just like good enough to reach that 80% mark that's like going to be good versus it's really good, I think, at 8.
I would like to give it an 8.3 because it sounds like a good score for Dark.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to our next coach, and that's the Inglorious Gliscars by Kid Icarus.
Okay, who wants to go first? I don't really have an opinion on this one. I think it's good. I guess I'll go first
Yeah,
then.
go first.
Like I said, I don't really have that big of an opinion on it. I think it's good. I don't think it's that great. I think he's got like double sand. I don't know what he was doing near the end of the draft. It's like so weird at the end. Like Suicune is there, and then Suicune's main like Suicune loves having leftovers recovery and he's got double sand to neutralize its own leftovers recovery. Serena's main form of recovery is synthesis, and that's gonna make it worse. I just don't know about this one. Like it's not bad by any means. Necrozma's main form of recovery is also Moonlight, so that's gonna hinder it. Like he's got so much anti-synergy that's the only thing like putting me off. Other than that, I think it's really solid. Like with both Hippowdon and Mega Titar, he's probably gonna have to end up bringing sand every week, which is gonna be really annoying for things like Suicune, which love leftovers recovery, things like Serena, which love synthesis, and things like Necrozma. But he's got good sweeping power in Mimikyu and Mega Titar, Necrozma, and Stoutland. And he's got good defensive options in Hippowdon, Zapdos, Suicune. Even Necrozma is a great defensive option. Aromatisse was like a sleeper pick, I think, because it stops the taunt spam. Because taunting everything, like his team doesn't really like being taunted. Like Hippowdon being taunted sucks, Altaria being taunted sucks, Necrozma being taunted usually sucks, Suicune being taunted really sucks. But then Aromatisse can't be taunted, so it's a good answer to things, and it can wish past the things that like are threatening. So I think it's overall solid. I just think it has too much anti-synergy for it to be considered really good.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I found it really weird. Like I thought, I didn't know that he drafted Mimikyu first round. Did that happen or was that a trade?
Yeah, he did. I think he did.
It's really strange.
Well, no. So what happened with the first round? He gave his pick to Ninetales,
Oh, okay.
so he could get
Ninetales.
Kartana.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, I see.
but he wanted the Mons. Like the Mons that he wanted were lower tier Mons, so he was like, "It's okay if I got rid of my first pick."
Yeah, it's really weird. I agree with what Steve was saying. I feel like the synergy is really weird. Double sand is also strange. I feel like, especially because like I feel like Necrozma. Like if you ever want to, the best Necrozma is a bulky Necrozma, and you can't really do that without having Moonlight or Morning Sun. So I feel like that really, like I think he really wanted to draft Necrozma so it wouldn't be used against him, and he's not going to be able to function with it the way he has it. So. And like Zapdos and Suicune are both really leftover heavy mon. Like they love those lefties. So it's really weird. Besides that, I think overall he like hit all the things you try to draft. And I just feel like he had some really weird low tier picks too. I feel like Tornado Altaria is kind of strange. I don't know, I feel like he drafted really well and then he did some weird shit at the end to make his team a little.
So for me, I actually like his team. I'm not worried about the sand because you could just bring what's a Hippowdon's thing? Is it a nerf?
Sandforce.
It's just Sandforce? Okay. Well, you could just bring the Sandforce one, which would be nice with the Mega Titar. But even with Mega Titar, it's only going to be 4 turns of sand. So I don't think it's that much of a hindrance, but it's good to be able to have that. So you can have Stoutland like weaken everything and then come in and just win with a Necrozma or something. I do like the Necrozma, the Suicune, the Zapdos. Mimikyu's a pain to deal with. Hippowdon sucks as a defensive wall dealing with. Like I hate going against that thing. I absolutely hate the Tornado pitch and the Altaria. I think those Pokemon are awful. I've never played with Altaria, but there's a reason why. The Tornado I always try to play with, and it just sucks. So, yeah, I think he is a little bit more on the slower side, but yeah, I don't think it's as bad, and I think he can deal with I don't think the sand's the biggest problem with it, but I do see it as one of the lower teams in our league. But that's mostly just because everyone drafts pretty good, so you have to be on your A game. So then with that being said, I would give it like a 7.1. That's where I'm at with it.
See, I think it's one of the worst ones. I don't think it's that bad, but I don't think it's that great either. I think I'm going to give it like a 6.8. Like, I don't think it's 7 worthy. Yeah,
Wow,
I
that's
think
a
you
failing
fix it.
grade characters. Get it together.
Like I'm just not a fan of having Suicune that never like Suicune function like it's one of its greatest sets. Sub Protect Kun only works because Leftovers Recovery is there to supplement its HP. And even you don't want to click rest on Suicune. You want to delay rest as much as possible because you have Leftovers healing you, and Suicune's such a naturally bulky mon. But if you're
It's
neutralizing
really
that,
weird.
it's so annoying.
Hmm.
But it's what it is, I guess. I give it 6.8.
Yeah, they're very similar scores as you guys. I gave it a 7.2 just because I feel like there's a lot of potential here, but we'll have to see how he utilizes.
So moving on to the next coach is the Polytons Polytoads from Poly. And this is a coach that's coming back to the UPL, and I am not excited about this at all. This is my natural rival. I'd like to think Theo is, but let's be honest, it's not a rival if you get beat down all the time.
If it's one, it's one way.
No, it's like Cole and Ash in the anime. You can beat me in the Elite Four thingy, you know?
Yeah.
I should figure out who my rival is.
But with Polly and his team, I really like his team. Screw Polly. This is another person that really just like shot me in the heart because I wanted Mega Venusaur. He took it first round. Then I was like, had the plans with Thundy T, took it second pick, and I was all like, no, I don't get anything I want. And
Rivals on the
I-
field and off the field, huh?
yeah, so I really wanted those two Pokemon on the same team. I like Infernape because it could be mixed. It could get rocks out. I think Gyarados is actually a really good mon that doesn't get used enough. It can be really defensive on the special side. And I really like the typing, even though it's quad weak to electric, but you can really play off that really easy, especially with having like a Thundy T to come in, get the Voltzorb, and then do whatever it wants. I think you can set up. It could be really defensive with Intimidate too. It's just, I think it's a good mon. Gligar is one of the better lower tier tanks for me too, and he got that. Metagross, I think, is amazing as well because you can do so many different things with that. Sableye, good prankster. You could be really annoying with that. Gardevoir, I think, is the most underused fairy in Draft League. I see it get undrafted so many times, and I don't know why. Again, another mon that you can do a bunch of different stuff. Tyrantrum, amazing. I love Tyrantrum. I love just choice banding it, opening up with it. You have to think, is this thing's choice band? Is it choice scarf? It's a focus sash, and you just create pressure. It does so much damage. Gudra is amazing as well. A great special defensive wall that has like that can actually hit you with a great ability. Gooey, that comes in handy so much. Again, Swampert, I think, is a good Pokemon as well. Good stealth rockers, takes a tons of hit, only has one weakness. And then the worst Pokemon on this list, Dusttops. I don't know what his fascination with that mon is.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
hyping
at
up
one point
everything
we
else
actually
you
tried
did
something
with
fun.
dust stocks.
Yeah. I really like the team. I actually really, really like the team.
Magic, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of what he said. I feel like it synergizes really well. This might be the best draft I've seen Pauly do. Usually Pauly kind of memes out a little bit, I feel like, with a lot of his drafts. And this time I feel like he's coming back with a vengeance. He has a lot of really scary mons here. They pair really well together. Personally, seeing Thundy T and Fernape Gyarados is scary for me. I don't really want to deal with that. The only thing I noticed is I feel like his walls are kind of weird. I feel like Venusaur and Gligar are pretty good, but like I feel like he'll have problems keeping like both of those alive.
Really?
They're like kind of easy to deal with. Mega Venusaur not so much, but like I feel like Gligar you can have HPI. So like a flying mon with like HPI will be really bad for him to deal with. I feel.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from, but I think he does a really good job of covering up weaknesses. Like his mons are so like good at covering each other's weaknesses, and I think there are mons that can purpose as semi walls like Metagross and Tyrantrum and Gudra and Gardevoir and Sable. I think they can all like function as walls in the right situation if they need to be. I think Swampert can do the same thing. I think he really wanted to support that Gyarados because Gyarados is of course very, very scary. And he's like, okay, let me support this as much as possible. He got what, like 3 immunities and like a bunch of resists, like 2 more resists
Two of the
to it.
best resists in the game, though, Mega Venusaur and
Yeah, I got 3 actually. My bad. He got Tyrantrum as well.
Mhm.
So, yeah, he like really did good at covering up that electric weakness that Gyarados had. I think he drafted very well for the most part. Like having to prep for these mons are really annoying because Infernape can do like so many different things. Prepping for Z Gyarados is crazy hard, and prepping for Z DT is also crazy hard. It's so damn hard. I think it's really good overall. Like I don't know what Dustox. Dustox is just. I'm gonna imagine it's not there because if I imagine
It's
it's,
just-
there,
it's
it's gonna
just
bring
one
it down.
point. It's one point. He wanted to draft something fun.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's all right. So I think I'll rate it at 7.9. Not quite 8, but 7.9. We'll give it 7.9. Yeah, I like that.
What about you, Jake?
See, I found that weird though, because like Theo was when he talked about it was higher on it than I was, but I gave it an 8.4. I thought it was like a really good team. It's like comparable to some of these other teams we said ranked.
I think the main point that I got down on is the fact that he's really weak to hidden power. Like as much as he covered his weaknesses, HP Grass or HP Ice is going to kind of push him over the edge.
Or even
I
He's gonna
HP
be relying
Electric?
a lot.
Well,
he's
so
gonna
like
be
a psychic
relying a lot on
type, a psychic type with HP Ice, I feel like will be really scary for him.
He's going to be relying a lot on his walls to cover up his weaknesses, but both of his, like, 2 of his big walls, like Swampert and Gligar, have 4 times weaknesses, and that's really scary.
Yeah, so for me, I have it higher than all you guys. I really like it. I have it at 8.9. I'm not worried about like the hidden powers because like legit Kuja can take any hidden power.
Well, that's true.
And then if you look at the other hidden powers, like the hidden power ice, the hidden power grass, like Metagross comes in on that easy, and you can like legit just put a assault vest and then just start hitting with that
Okay.
thing.
So what do you do? What does this team do against Megalatios? When it's going to Psyshock the Gudra, it's going to Ice Beam the
Yeah, no,
Gligar,
Megalodios literally runs through the entire
Okay.
team.
it's going to Shadow Ball the Metagross. Like things that get good
So
coverage,
then
naturally, you're gonna
it won't
break through this entire thing.
then it won't be able to kill the Tyrantrum. Tyrantrum kills it in one shot.
Draco Meteor, Ice Beam, Psyshock. Wait, what else? Does it need Thunderbolt, right? Or Shadow Ball?
Shadow Ball.
Yeah.
So does it even beat
Whatever.
a Sableye with Calm Mind and Recover?
I think
Let's not
Draco
get
Meteor.
into this.
I mean, I'm just
Lot-
saying,
lot-
like, I feel like he has ways, and you picked out one Mon.
yes, I guess pick out
Every
like
single team in this format is going to have problems with Megalodios. It should have been banned also.
like Mega Alakazam is another big problem for it, isn't it? If it just runs HP Ice, it doesn't even need HP Ice. It's got such a good Psychic stab. Like just Psychic's gonna break through that Gligar, and Dazzling is gonna destroy that Sableye.
Yeah, but
I,
again, Metagross is right there.
but Shadow Ball's gonna break
Okay,
through that too.
we all rank this team. Let's move on to Frozen.
Yeah, we're all different on this team, but yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to Frozen, who does have Mega Alakazam, and this is my teammate, the Adrenaline Thunderbolts by Frozen, and he I hope you guys grade him a high team because I gave him my first round pick for him to have a pretty good team. So how about you guys tell me if he did well or not?
Okay, I guess I'll go first. I think it's really good. That's like it's really good. I love his draft. It's absolutely wonderful. Speed tiers on point. Walls perfect. Rocks, but Ferrothorn is just gonna come every week anyways. It's gonna set rocks no matter what. Like it's so reliable that it doesn't matter how many rockers you have. You have Garchomp, which doesn't love running rocks, but it can, right?
Mhm.
And it's not a bad rocker by any means. It's got Weavile to pursue trap big threats. It's got Comfy for good priority. It's got +3 priority to like revenge a lot of things. I had Comfy this season. I know how good it is at revenging so many big threats. Ferrothorn's an absolutely wonderful wall. Milotic, absolutely wonderful wall. Rotom, like that Firewater Grass Core in and of itself is going to be such a big problem for things to deal with because Rotom he's going to Volt Switch out into the Mega Alakazam. It's going to destroy everything. Like absolutely destroy everything. Mega Alakazam is so good. I don't know why it goes undrafted sometimes, which I think is crazy because it's got like base 175 special attack and 150 speed. Like it's not going to switch in. It's crazy good. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Jake.
Yeah, it's actually wild. I didn't really pay attention to this draft because it was frozen, and now looking at it after the fact, it's wild. Holy moly! That the Firewater Grass Core, like they was saying, it's probably one of the better ones that we're gonna see this season. It definitely depends though. I feel like I don't want to put like judgment skills here, but I feel like a lot of his mons are really frail outside the walls, or either that or have like a 4x weakness. Just like Weavile, Scolipede, Garchomp, and Megazam as his 4 breakers. I'm interested to see how that works out for him. Especially if someone brings like a decent Scarfer, I feel like he's gonna have a lot of trouble actually getting kills or breaking through walls. So I'm interested to see how he makes up for that. But defensively, he's almost gonna be impossible to break with the Firewater Grass Core plus Comfey. People were pretty high on Lickitung during the draft. I don't really know what it does. I'm guessing it's like a bad
It's
Licky.
just it's just really cheap, so it's a good value pick.
And then he's got some. I mean, I feel like he did the best in like the lower point mons,
Mhm.
getting Jellicent, Minior, Comfey,
Lickitung.
Hitmonchan.
Like
I
it.
think that this is the best low picks I've seen on one team. So it's a very solid team. I'm just interested to see how he plays. I don't like. I have the same thing on my team, obviously, but I don't really like when you have a bunch of really frail or 4x weakness mons that might struggle a bit. But overall, I feel like this is one of the better teams.
Yeah,
At least
yeah, right.
what?
Better be. Jesus Christ, God, gave him my first pick for this shit. Get sniped all day. So, so yeah, when we were talking about it, I gave him Garchomp, and then we were like, you know what? Let's get walls heavy on this. And he really wanted Milotic, so we were able to get that before it got into the second round because we knew if it got in the second round, it'd get picked at some time. Milotic's really good. Ferrothorn to cover that up as well. I'm not worried about all the 4x weaknesses because he has multiple ones, so it's going to be hard. You can only bring like hidden power on one mon. It can only be one thing, so it makes it really easier because okay, this mon doesn't have that coverage, so he has to run this on it. The Lickitung was because someone took Licky Licky right before he was going to take it, so just get a tankier Licky Licky, but it's a little less on the attack, so it's more passive and stuff like that. But I like some of his setups, like Minior can sweep, Scolipede can sweep. I believe he made it his Z-Stone. Garchomp is just a great mon. It gets drafted too low all the time, I believe. I'm ecstatic with his Mega Pokemon because, yes, Mega Alakazam is really good. It goes undrafted so many times, but I don't know why. It's one of my top 4 favorite Mega Pokemon. He ended up with Weavile towards the end because he had a lot of points left, and it was like the best high tier mon that was left. So adding that to the team, good priority. Jellicent doesn't get the credit it should as a tank because I think it's really good on the tank side. I think his team's really good, and I'm happy he's on my team, and I feel like he'll be kind of up there with me and Tyler and trying to get enough wins to make the playoffs and stuff. I would grade this team at a 8.7. That's where I have it.
That's exactly where I had it too, at 8.7.
I was gonna give it 8.9.
Oh, you're so amazing.
We love your opinion so much.
Oh, God.
We're having this really good.
Yeah. So then moving on to the next coach is the Hudson Valley Horsies by Calexo. And yeah. Jake, you start this
Can I
off.
go first? Oh,
No, I want Jake. He has,
Okay. Let's take a look. I mean, yeah, I this bastard took Florgus, which I wanted. Asshole. I don't know. His team is really good. I feel like this is one of those teams where you have a bunch of bulky mons that can also hit you really hard, which I love seeing. I think the Latios, Florgus, and Mega Aggron as his Fairy Dragon Steel will be really good. He had a pretty decent he added like pretty decent like grass and fire mons Incineroar is always really scary, especially with Intimidate on it now. Just looking at it, it's gonna put in a lot of work. He also had a few more points to spend, which I was kind of confused about. He could have at least tried to like add something to the mix. But especially for a coach like Clixo, who sometimes struggles, I think this draft was really good for him. It'll make his prep and play a lot better. So I'm really interested to see how he uses it. There are a lot of really good mons and some good setup there, and definitely it's going to be hard to kill a lot of the stuff, which will be interesting to see, especially with Mega Aggron with Witch Pass. It always sucks.
Okay. I want to go first because I want to give some insight because he was on my team and he's not been doing that great the past seasons. But then he said, "Okay, let me just go back to my roots. The season that I did really well in, season 2, I had Mega Aggron, Fat Fairy, and then I had my Dragon type. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's do it. Go for it." And I think he's really done well with that. He's drafted those 3 months, first 3 rounds. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna go back to what I know." He did that, and he drafted extremely well around it. He got the Shaman for the base 100 speed tier. He got Raikou for the speed tier above that. He got Swallow for the speed tier above that. And then he got the good water. He got a good fire. He got webs. He got so much, right? He got good Defog and Florges and Latias alone. And then he got rocks because Mega Aggron's going to be coming every single week. So he doesn't need to worry about getting a proc with anything else. But then he got Nidoqueen anyway in case for those rare weeks and Mega Aggron isn't going to be running rocks or it's not going to come. Nidoqueen is a great rocker, phenomenal. It can apply so much offensive pressure. Like his entire team functions so well either without webs and even better with webs.
I think it's a really solid team, and this is honestly like more my play style where you have a little bit slower, more bulky mons, but they actually can deliver a punch, and that's what I really like. I like his core, the Florges, the Latios, the Mega Aggron. I think that's going to be hard. I think he's like you guys have great just other tier mons. Like Shaman, I think is really good. Arachnid's good. Nidoqueen's good. Raikou's good. Incineroar's good. Hariyama is a monster if you know how to use him. He's really good. Dusknoir's good for lower. And I really do like Swallow because it's a really fast mon that you don't know if it's the physical set or the special set. It can be run either way, and they're both good. My only thing is, like, I think it's missing, like, an actual high-tier mon. You know, something to just take over games and stuff like that. In, like, a regular draft, he basically drafted a bunch of tier 2s and tier 3s. So it's really solid throughout the whole thing. But there's nothing to, like, I feel put it, like, completely over the top, something that you are like devastatingly scared of and you spend extra time prepping for that. That's my only problem that I have with it.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Well, especially because like with those 4 points left over, he could have like earlier in the draft instead of taking Swallow like late, he could have grabbed like a 15-point mod earlier.
Really
So I feel like he definitely missed out on his point management, but that's fine. I think this team overall is fantastic. So I think that will be fine.
Also, I think is Latios. I think he's gonna have to bring Latios more defensive most of the time. Well, no, it's just gonna be a bulky healer.
I think Evermon's probably going to be pretty bulky. And
Yeah.
like
try to-
his team has the option to run such like bulky sets that's going to really threaten you with its hard hitting moves as well.
Yeah. So what you guys graded at?
So I'm not that high on it, but I thought it was still pretty decent. So I give it an 8.1.
Me too. I was going to give it 8.0.
All right.
Flat 8.
I have it. I think it's pretty solid. I'm definitely lower than you guys. I have it at like a 7.5.
Okay.
Wow. That low?
Whatever. So let's
No,
move. Take it, Theo. All right, let's move on to the Kentucky Wild Meows, and this is Tempest, and I'm really excited.
My boy.
Really excited for Tempest. He's really growing as a coach. He's getting better, and first, like for me, his first 2 mons that he drafted are really scary and annoying. Getting Cress and Mega Mawile. like that's gonna just be a pain to deal with. Crest is already annoying as hell, and then having Mega Mawel that can set up on you and has priority move, it could be just the worst. And then you have Alolan Muck. Alolan Muck is so damn good. It is the second best poison in the game to me. I love Mons that so Alolan Muck can take special hits and deal physical attacks. I love Mons like that.
What's the number one poison?
It's Mega Venusaur. Duh.
Oh, duh.
Entei's really strong. Amoonguss is a good tank Pokemon. It's always nice having Spore. You see Crocodile just go through like basically the league and does so much damage. Intimidate's good. Moxie's good. It's really good. Karam's a great mid-tier Mon that does a lot of damage. I do like his lower tier picks too. For me personally, Togekiss with an Eviolite, annoying. Like one of the tankiest Mons. I think Heliolisk is a good low tier Mon that does good damage. Dusclops, one of the best lower tier tanks, I believe. It's a really good ghost. Has great move sets and like Destiny Bonds, Will-O-Wisp, Memento, just all that kind of stuff. And Swaloon, I think is a really good 1 point because you're just getting sticky webs for 1 point, and you put an Eviolite on it, and it's really tanky as well. I mean, the typing's not good, but the tanking's good. But that thing, I believe, gets something like camouflage. I don't know if it's camouflage or something else, but I believe it gets something like that where you can get rid of that shitty typing.
Well, it's pretty crazy. It's 55, 90, 80 for its bulk. So that's pretty crazy for an Eviolite user.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Theo, you want to go?
Okay, sure. So you took Mega Mawile. I have a special place in my heart for Mega Mawile.
God, I know.
I
I see you
absolutely
with Mega
love it.
Mawile.
You did see me, and that was season 3, I think, and I won that season solely because
God.
Mega Mawile was on there. And then Cresselia was on another team of mine in, I think, season 4.
Yeah,
I-
I know. And I think I lost to both of them.
I think I won that season too. Both of these mods are really fucking crazily good. I love it. And then Alolan Muck is so good. Oh my god, his team is so perfect. It's so perfect. Like it's actually just perfect. It's just missing some things that I like. His fairy type is Togetic, which I'm not the biggest fan of. But other than that, it's pretty good. Like I would draft this team.
Does Mega Mawile not count as a fairy type now?
It's not that. It's not. No, it doesn't really count as a fairy type. It's not doing most of the fairy types are gonna do.
Okay, good to know. Fuck you, Mega Mawile. You're not a
No,
fairy.
Mega Mawile is the greatest Mega that's allowed. I think, in my opinion, I think after they banned Mega Latias, Mega Mawile is the greatest Mega that they allow. But yeah, I absolutely love it. Like his defensive options are good. His speed tiers are good. His rockers are. They're okay, I guess. I think a lot of teams are missing their key rockers because I think this one has Crocodile and Mega Mawile. It's rockers, but Defog is good. Yeah, Defog's alright. Rapid Spin with Starmie makes up for that. Speed tiers, like I said, are pretty good. Covering up weaknesses is pretty good. Yeah, I think overall it's really solid.
Man, I don't want to play against a Mega Mawile without Arcanine.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how weak his hazard control is just in general.
What are you talking about? He has what?
Yeah, it's okay.
He has
It's got a-
Defoggers, and then he
Togetic.
has a Rapid Spinner and Starmie.
It's all right. It's not the greatest.
Well, so like control being like rocks and
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha.
like
Well-
like the control overall. Like
Well,
I feel
yeah.
like isn't-
I feel like a easy way to keep like hazards off the field is forcing your other team to click defog, and I think that helps with like having sticky webs because when anyone gets sticky webs
Right.
up, it's like, oh my god, I gotta get them off so fast.
Get him out.
So he can play with it. Like I think will be fine.
Okay.
So what do you guys think he should be ranked?
Oh, did I? Not?
I was
Yeah.
gonna give it
Go on.
I was gonna give it a 9.
Yeah. I'm not as high as that. I am pretty high on it. I have it at an 8.5.
Yeah, I was like 8.8 when I was thinking about it.
Okay.
So then let's move on to the next team, and that'll be the Orlando Solar Beams by Killer. And who wants to take over this? Anyone?
I mean, I'll go.
Okay,
I'll
you
go. I got this. So I feel like Killer was trying to have fun here. I feel like he was just trying to do a gimmick. His first, what is that, 8 mons are just, he wanted pivoting. So they all either have U-turn or volt switch. So I feel like that's what he was going for, but then doing that, he basically kind of gave up on synergy other than that, I feel like. It's like some weird mons put together. The bulk is kind of missing. I mean, he has Jirachi to do some bulkiness. Torrent can be bulky. He's got Savali. But like, I feel like there's not a whole lot of wiggle room here with what he's trying to do. So I'm interested to see how he does it every season. I also feel like just like weird mons together. I felt like it was a gimmick that went too far. And it kind of ruined his draft for him. So I mean, I just really don't have a lot to say because I don't know what this team is going to do for Killer, and I feel like he's going to get
I think
frustrated
you're being
using
too
it.
nice.
Oh,
I
dude.
think that you're being.
I thought I said a lot of mean things. Really, it was being
So how bad is it then, Theo?
Like I think it's bad. Like I don't think it's good at all. Like you said, his walls are okay. No, every single possible wall is not even a wall. It's a pseudo wall. Jirachi, Manaphy, Torrent, and Savali, they're all pseudo walls. They're not actual walls. Okay, and he didn't even commit to the actual meme. His last 2 don't even get pivoting moves. Oh my god, it's like bad. Like he doesn't have any synergy other than everything is U-turn. That's it. I'm not a fan of this one at all, dude. I don't like it.
Yeah, I really don't like it at all. And this is gonna be a weird place because I think this is the worst team that got drafted. And I play him week 1, and I'm gonna lose because that's karma for you. But
Well, it's gonna be really matchup heavy how well this team does, honestly.
yeah, I don't
It's
I don't like it. Like I think like he has a super fast team, but people could take advantage of that. If you have bulky mons, you can take advantage of this team. If you bring a bunch of like just Rocky helmets and you get hazards out, who cares about like U-turn and stuff? You're just gonna kill yourself continuously. I hate he doesn't have like legit any tanks. Like it's gonna be easy to wear this stuff down. His best way of having a chance to win is by just trying to overpower people and just pivot, but it's just not a reliable strategy to me. I just don't think he has all the pieces that you need for a team. I think he has some good mons and stuff because
So where are
like
you guys
individually, I like all these mon individually, but not on the same team.
Right.
Me, I have him like at a 6.0.
I was gonna say 5. Like it's gonna be like really hit or miss. It's gonna be 50% of the time it's gonna be pretty good. 50% of the time it's gonna be absolutely garbage. So
Yeah, I
5.
completely agree. Matchup heavy battles, so he's gonna have a hard time. A lot of them. I gave it a 6 too. But apparently I was being too nice.
Yeah.
It's like they're all good. It's like mixing chocolate ice cream and butter chicken. They're both pretty good, but then you mix them together and it's like garbage.
Did you say butter chicken?
I don't know, dude.
Is this a weird fucking Canadian thing or what?
At least say maple syrup, all right?
Oh.
We could understand that.
Chocolate ice cream and maple syrup might be pretty good. I don't know.
All right. So let's move on to the last team, and it is the Charlotte Wall Breakers with Silent Dusk. Let's go with Theo. You bring us home.
Okay. You know what? I think this is actually pretty good. Mega Glade is a monster. Tapu Fini is really good. And then we get the Salamence. This is like anti-synergy to the maximum. All right? Salamence literally only loses by having Tapu Fini on the team. Like it doesn't actually benefit from the resisted dragon moves because it's not touching the ground. So it's gonna take the same amount of damage. And then the things that are touching the ground are gonna take less damage from the Salamence. And then it's not protected from status because it's not touching the ground. Like it's just so
Silent spent so much time trying to tell me why Salamence and Tapu Fini would work together, and I'm like, no, it just doesn't.
Yeah, I think that this is like anti-synergy spelled out for you and put on a plate and say, here's anti-synergy. Okay, if we take those two aside and like view them as individual mons, they're pretty good. I just don't like them on the same team. I think he did need a dragon, but I don't think Salamence was the way to go. But other than that, I think it's pretty solid because Mega Glade can just hard carry the team. Stack Attack is really solid with this team as well because it covers a bunch of its weaknesses and it can run the OTR set, and that could like break through so many teams on its own. Delmise, Blissey, that's a pretty good core, honestly. They're gonna cover each other's weaknesses pretty well. And then Electrode it's all right, I guess. It's a low tier electric type, which is okay. It could set up screens and help Salamence, I guess, and Mega Glade set up. So that's all right. Weezing is there as another wall. Blissey plus Weezing is also pretty good. I think it's pretty solid. Zoroark is pretty good, and his lower tier mons are okay. So I think it's overall pretty good. I just really don't like the Salamence and Tapu Fini core, or the two pair.
Yeah, how I feel about it is like I never worry about it too much. Terrain's only up for like 4 turns. You can play around it. You just got to be aware of it. I understand how it doesn't work well. I just don't think it's the end of the world, and that's probably how he feels as well. What I don't like about it is he has bulk. I don't like his tanks as much. Like I think he's gonna have to rely too heavily on Blissey and Weezing to come like all the time. And I think you can prep for that easily. Weezing, the same problem like Cockagrace has, doesn't have like a super good reliable recovery move to keep you alive the whole time because Pain Split, it's nice, but it's not good enough. Like you want something consistent. Blissey, you know what Blissey's kind of gonna do, so it's easy to prep for it. So people will be able to break through those walls, I think, fairly easy, and then get their team going. And but he definitely has good threats. Stack Attack, when it sets up, it's really good. Delmise actually hits really hard. If he gets Mence with the Moxie going, that could be really scary. Or just bring it as a tank with Intimidate. I've seen that work really well. Zoroark, I have not seen anyone in this league play really well with it yet, so maybe he can do that. That would be kind of cool. The team's pretty average to me overall. Mega Glade, love. He was my second Mega I wanted. Mega Venusaur went, boom, Mega Glade went, and I was like, screw me. Just fuck me.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of lives up to his name. He's just like got a bunch of wall breakers and then like some pretty bad walls mixed around it.
Yeah, I think I rated it an 8.5. It's just pretty solid overall, and then just that Tapu Fini Salamence is just really dragging it down for me.
Wow, 8.5 got dragged down to an 8.5. That's crazy. Decent
Yeah,
games.
Yeah.
It's pretty
I
good.
mean, I ranked it an 8. I thought, there are some pretty big problems with it. But overall, I think it fits his play style and will be fun.
Yeah, I have it lower. I have it as 7.8 for the reasons I know. But yeah, so that's everyone. That's grading. That's cool. We got through all 18.
I think one last thing we should do though is who do you guys think makes playoffs?
Oh god, this again. So Hubie can like make me look like an idiot again.
Yeah.
God.
You gotta name 4 teams.
4
Who do you
teams.
think
Oh,
makes-
Final Fours.
Okay. Rocky, me. It's like teams, right?
Yeah, there's 6
Rocky's
teams.
team.
So just to let everyone know, if someone randomly watching this, other than the people in the league who would do that, we're actually all in teams of 3. So there's 6 teams, and how it's going to work is everyone's record is just going to be put together, and whoever has the best record gets to make the playoffs. So 4 teams will make it. So you guys say the 4 teams, and I guess say the people in the teams.
Okay, so I'm gonna say Team Dog Pound,
Boom.
Rocky, Frozen, and
Tyler.
who's
Tyler.
right? And then Team CTB, which is me, Byron, and Calexto. I think also Jake's team has a pretty good shot at doing it because his drafts are just really well rounded.
That's
Well,
Jake,
Jake's
Hoovy, and Tempest. Screw those
Yeah,
guys.
I think it's really well rounded, right? And
Yeah.
then I think, oh man, I can't actually decide between. No, I think I'm gonna have to go with Team Beastie Boost Boys, Kubi, Tails, and
Oh, you're all over the
Killer.
place.
Yeah,
These
you got-
two boys is my team
That's
with
Jake's.
me. You want
Wait, what?
want Suicide Squad with Silent
Kid and Tails.
Yeah, my bad.
All
Anyway,
right.
the people I said are the people I want that I think are gonna make it.
Mhm. What about
Okay,
you,
right.
Jake?
Oh, okay, I'll go.
There
I'll
you
go.
go.
Obviously, the Beastie Boost Boys will be there. They'll meet you in the playoffs, and we'll do. Dog Pound, 100%. Suicide Squad and Team CTB. So I have the exact same four as Theo.
All right, so so this is what I have. I definitely have the Dog Pound because that's good. That's going to be the squad. I think the Beastie Boys are definitely going to be it. I think Jake and Hoobie's just going to be able to just destroy a lot of people, and I think Tempest is good enough to get you guys enough wins to make the playoffs. I think the Polymanduns, is that what they call themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Mandy, London, and Polly. I actually think they're gonna make it. I don't see. This is the funny part about their things. I don't see any of them being like in the top four. Like I don't think any of those coaches will be in the top four.
But they all go 6 and 5.
Exactly.
Right.
I all think they're gonna go
Right,
6
they're
and
not
5 and 7 and
above
4.
Average. Okay. That
So
makes sense.
so I think they're gonna make it because of that. It gets really hard. So I'll tell you the two teams I don't think. I don't think Team Rainbow is gonna make it, and that has Dark and Killer and Bryce. Because Killer's a good battler, but I think his team is too hard to overcome, which is gonna bring them down. And Bryce is still learning the game. The Suicide Squads, they could be so good because with Silent playing a lot better, making it to the Final Four this season, Kid's getting better, and Ninetales is really good. So I can see them like kind of having a good squad. And then I'm trying
I
to
think that's interesting because I think they have arguably the most balanced team.
yeah, and then I'm looking at like Team CTB. So you have Calexo, you have Byron and Theo. So with Theo and Byron, you have two of the best battlers, and Byron has just a nasty team, but Calexo I think holds you guys back. Like you guys are legit gonna need all to be in, like you two to be in the top 4 with a lot of kills to carry Calexo, and I might sound mean, but he's going to hold you back, and I don't think you guys are going to make it. I think the Suicide Squad will make it over the
Oh boy.
Yes.
Theo. Oh boy.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. I think Calexo's like not giving it enough credit. I think he's really good, dude. Like he just had some off seasons, but I think he's pretty good.
See, you say you think he's had an off season, but since he's been in the UPL, his first season 2-9, second season 1-10, this last season 0-11. He's just getting worse.
Wait, you sure?
Yes,
I
I'm
thought
sure.
I thought his first season he did pretty good.
No, you looked at the wrong person. Maybe.
Huh.
Maybe
he was
I'm
also
looking at.
here He's also here season 2 where he got like 6 wins, 5 or 6 wins.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought season 2 was the first season. I thought he did pretty good.
He's
Yeah.
been here for 4 seasons total.
Oh, so the last 3 seasons. I didn't see the first season. He was new.
He was
Everyone does
five
look like
wins.
it's new people.
He has like 5 wins in the last 3 seasons combined.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. So how about you guys tell me why you didn't? Because both of you guys didn't pick Suicide Squad or Team Rainbow. What's up with that?
Team Rainbow Rocket has
We did
isn't that
pick
Killer's
Suicide
team?
Squad. We didn't pick Mandy's.
Oh, you didn't
or
pick
Kid's.
Mandy's. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you made a good point about man because I was actually too caught up on the fact that they're all average players that I didn't realize that being average is actually good in a team format, because if you're not average, my bad, they're above average. So if you're just above average, you're going to be above the cutoff point with every single person, and that makes you not have to work as hard on an individual basis. So I think they're okay, but I think the hard carries from the other teams are going to make it better. And as far as Team Rainbow Rocket goes, like you said, Bryce is learning the game. Killer memed with this draft, and then Dark, I don't think can soul carry the team, unfortunately.
That's
Yeah, I feel like Team Rainbow Rock is the easy one to leave out just because Killer memed. Dark has problems sometimes through the season, and who's their last member?
Bryce.
Bryce struggles to finish season, so I feel like, and then I feel like Mandy's team will struggle a little bit too.
Well, I don't know
Paul's
how Polly plays. I mean, I don't know how Polly or London plays, so I don't know.
London has one of the best drafts, but I don't know him as better, and Paulie tends to struggle throughout the season consistency wise.
Hate playing Polly.
Same thing with Mandy. I don't know London, and the other two struggle with consistency throughout the season.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Well,
I thought the playoffs 4 were pretty easy to pick, but Rockhand thought differently.
well, I think it's definitely going to be a fun season. This is my favorite form of draft leagues when we do teams, because I just feel like people get into it a little bit more, rooting for their teams and helping out people and stuff like that. Do you guys have anything to say to the people?
You're looking at season 6 champions right here.
No, we'll see CTB at the top.
You guys about to come in this dog pound.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes out, but I'm excited.
All right. So I'm out of here.
Bye-bye.